Rylan Clark Neal I knew I had to be the gay stereotype I played the game. At his home in Essex, Rylan Clark Neal has an assortment of flat-screen TVs all tuned to his current favorite reality TV show. No, not love, it's such a load of B***********************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************
He says. Have you ever sat? Channel controllers take note you after all, nobody understands reality TV quite like Clark Neal. The 30-year-old, yesterday I went to interview Madonna. Tonight I am going. Todayy we are sitting in a quiet meeting room overlooking Regent's Canal in London. Clark Neal, recently, he has turned his attention to another serious matter, one that may surprise those who know him best as the X Factor contestant, who had a histrionic meltdown when Nicole Scherzinger told him she was putting him through to the live finals. I am obsessed with. Earlier this year, he tweeted about Theresa May's third meaningful vote, only to be met with a barrage of mockery from political journalists. He responded by, so, what is his analysis of the Brexit impasse? That all roads lead to S****T. Every single could he do a better job? I often think I could do a better job. Honestly, Clark Neal credits his time in Big Brother with changing the public's perception of him. They realized I was normal and his adoration goes so deep that he has modeled his house on the set. Apparently, think, he says, and talk. I can make someone listen if I want to. I can set it up so other people in the house can listen, if I want them to. He looks slightly. The other day, his Wi-Fi went down. He is a little embarrassed. As if to prove his high-tech credentials, his watch suddenly starts buzzing to tell him his stepson, Cameron, is trying to call you. In 2015, Clark Neal married Dan Neal, a former police officer and Big Brother contestant, whose 19-year-old son now lives with them. Do you mind? How does he find being a stepdad? It's the same as being a normal dad. He rinses me dry. Clark Neal describes himself as the man in the middle. There are 10 years between he and both Dan and Cameron, but the closeness in age helps him with some difficult conversations. I don't like to talk. Would he like more children? It's not something I really talk about you, although it always ends up in the papers anyway. But Dan's done it all. Clark Neal was born Ross Richard Clark in 1988, raised by his mum and his nan in a council house in Stepney Green, East London. He says his child, there was a real community spirit on his street, but his mum moved the family to Essex after he was attacked at a local playground and put in hospital with a fractured skull. Probably because seeing 2 women bloodied and beaten in the news recently after an attack on a London bus, alleged to have been motivated by homophobia, didn't surprise him. I saw all the statuses saying I can't believe this is happening in 2019, but every day on my Twitter feed it'll get you're gay, you're a ********************************************************************************************* will things ever change? In his teens, Clark Neal dabbled in modeling, changing his name from Ross to Rylan to be more recognizable. He performed in I played a character when I was on there, he says. I knew I had to be there. Does this mean that his hysterical crying in front of Scherzinger was all an act? No, that was true, he says. But only because Clark Neal says he watches the infamous clip once a year, just to remind himself how much it all means. He loves his job. Does he worry that he is using work to deal with deeper stuff? 100% sure. But I know my nan. When Clark Neal first found fame, he lived the celebrity cliches, you even buying a customized Range Rover with the silver lettering changed to Range Rylan. But, he said, listen to his show and it is clear why strangers view him as a friend. He is warm, witty, and gets his mum to phone in and natter on about ham and cheese toasties. Still, isn't, in the early days, it was all I ever wanted, more than the job, he says. I wanted people to. He recalls a family wedding the other week. You lovely people, great conversation. Then the evening these days, he says, 90% of the people he meets are nice. After the X Factor, the range Rylan had to go. Too many eagle-eyed drivers started driving alongside him with cameras out, causing him to panic at the wheel. But he blames him. I wonder how he feels about reality TV in today's climate,
in which the Jeremy Kyle Show has been axed and Love Island heavily criticized after people who had starred in the programs had mental health problems and even killed themselves. Clark Neal thinks, in fact, he has worked so much that at the end of 2017 he stepped back from his gig on This Morning to look after his mental health. He says he was, but then other people will say, I never knew your mom nearly died, or was linked up to an 4-drip 6 nights a week because she can't digest food anymore. And that's because life is complicated, he concludes, but I've got a set of veneers that I smile through on morning TV. After sharing his feelings about always being on duty, I feel guilty when the interview ends and I, too, ask for a favor. But my wife's I'd love to, he says. What's her name? Of course it is. He whisks my phone from my hand and starts recording. Hi Mildred, it's Rylan, I hope you're well. A little birdie it is nothing special, really, just a video message for someone he has never met, you one of dozens he will no doubt do in the next few days. But it is so effortless. MSN are empowering women in sport this summer. Find out more of Gallery Out and proud LGBT celebrities photos.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park,